So let's look at another example of dividing a quantity in a given ratio. So this is example 2. Let's read through the question together. Two people invest $10,000 and $15,000 in a business. The profit made was $175,000. The question is, how should the profit be divided? Now, it's pretty clear that the person who invested $10,000, obviously, which is less than $15,000, should get less of the profit. Obviously, the one who invested more should get more of the profit, but it needs to be in the same measure. So let's look at another way of being able to work this out. First of all, the ratio that the two people invested in is in the ratio 10,000 to 15,000. Okay. Now, I'm not going to use counters because I'm going to need 10,000 of them, so I'm not going to use counters for this one. But you could see that for the $10,000 that the first person invested, the second person invested $15,000. But in total, what is the total investment then? So in other words, combining the two people together and their contribution, one contributed 10,000, the other one contributed 25,000. Okay, so this means that the investment is 25,000. Okay, so basically adding up the two terms of the ratio. So the investment is $25,000. Okay. Now, $175,000 was made, or the profit was made in this business. Okay. So how are we going to split the $175,000 up? Well, first of all, let's consider the $25,000 was put in, and we got out $175,000. So what we're going to do first of all is work out how many times $25,000 goes into $175,000. So $175,000. So in other words, we're working out how many times over the investment we've made. So $175,000 divided by $25,000. Okay, that's equal to 7. So that means then that each person has made 7 times as much as what they've invested. Okay, so the first person who invested $10,000 has made 7 times that amount, and the person that invested $15,000 also made 7 times that amount. So the profit will be divided, okay, in the ratio. Okay, it'll be 10,000, but we're going to multiply that by 7 to 15,000, and we're going to also multiply that by 7, okay, because each one's contribution has now increased by a factor of 7, and that's going to give us, okay, $70,000, okay, to $105,000. So the profit's going to be split in this way. So the first person, the person who invested $10,000, will get $70,000 of the profit, and the person that invested $15,000 will get $105,000 of the profit.